matter of fact, all right, let's get this done. Probably because their wife just left them with the kids, and now he's got a huge ass alimony payment, and he's getting sued for malpractice for 2 other cases pending. Insurance is going to cover one of them, so he's just in there like.
And whose team is this? Is this your team, or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast. Common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't either there, Chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. The website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. And today, again, apologies for missing Wednesday. I just kind of spaced out. It's Mugsy has been sleeping pretty well, and again, we've been over that when she doesn't sleep very well, it's kind of the wife's thing. Now, I need to completely point out and have on record that I offer multiple times per week, hey, you look a little tired. Why don't you sleep tonight? I will get up with the baby and give her a bottle and change her diaper and whatever she needs during the night. You need sleep instead of the 2 hours sleep, up 20 minutes, 2 hours sleep, up 20 minutes, hour sleep, up 20 minutes, etc. I mean, that after a while, I know that women are like pre-programmed, like biologically. That's the motherly instinct. And, sometimes you can get mom brain, like sometimes the wife will be driving and she'll just miss a turn, where something's very easy, where it's like, oh, why'd you miss a turn? And she's like, oh, I kind of fell asleep. Things like that. And it's not like falling asleep at the wheel, but just, the mind goes blank. And I've experienced a little bit of that as well as, I can't complain about sleep, especially with the wife being so awesome, being like, no, I'm going to get up. We're going to breastfeed. And you can't breastfeed. Well, you could, but you would probably get a lot more out of it than the baby would. If you know what I mean. Now, so I sleep maybe 6 hours a night. Now, that's because, I'm stay-at-home dad, work from home, and, the wife generally gets up pretty early and, takes off, goes to work, and little baby and we just hang out all day. It's good times. But then if you want to get anything done around the house or on your own, kind of have to stay up at night. So I want to say my sleep schedule right now is from about like 12 to 6, probably. And I know a lot of people get by on 6 hours of sleep. I prefer at least 7, maybe 8, if you can get that luxury. But yeah. So that's kind of why I missed Wednesday. It just dad brain scattered a little bit. But hey, we're back. And speaking of scatterbrain, I haven't even talked about the topic yet. I haven't even mentioned it. But today I wanted to talk about babies and doctors because it's very topical. This morning we just got a little baby Mugsy back from her 4-month shots. And yeah, I'm glad that we give our kids shots because I want my kid to be immunized against the kids who are not immunized, if you know what I mean. Plus, I feel like there's so many like sicknesses out there to begin with. Why tempt fate? And it's like we've gotten to a point medical wise, technology wise, just efficiency wise as a human species that we're bored or we've forgotten how terrible things were that we had to kick the ass of. Hence measles, smallpox, whooping cough, etc. So now these new age parents are like, wow, my child is not getting the measles shot or the diphtheria shot or whatever shot, because it has been shown by a doctor who's been disproven that it increases the likelihood that your kid will be autistic by 0.01%. And I'm not going to take that risk. I'd rather have my babies die of measles. Like, whatever. And yes, that was a direct shot at Jay Cutler's wife, Kristen Cavallari, but, whatever. This isn't about vaccination. I want to get someone, I want to get a medical professional. We've had a doctor on earlier, but I want an actual medical pediatrician on the show, and we'll talk vaccines. So now is not the place or time, but I'm going to talk a little noise about the junk, about the doctors. So now when we moved an hour away, and we went to a doctor at Olmsted Medical in Rochester, Minnesota, the pride of southeastern Minnesota. Dalai Lama was just there recently. A lot of people go through the Mayo system. But we were at OMC, and we really liked our pediatrician. She's a nice older lady, and she's oversaw Mugsy's first, second, and third month appointments and various shots. Or first and second. There isn't a third. Whatever. And so since we moved and bought a house, we had to find a new doctor. Now, I will admit, I am biased when it comes to doctors, especially for young doctors and young pediatrician doctors. And I prefer the female, the motherly type. Preferably, she'll have 2 or 3 kids, maybe like early 40s, mid 40s, somewhere in there. And I don't know, I just feel like she is more empathetic and is more apt to be thorough with our daughter or our kids or our future kids, etc. And just because she has a motherly instinct, and she has, generally women doctors have a better bedside manner than men doctors. That's just how it is. Because I feel like a lot of male doctors, and I don't even like going to male doctors because I feel like they're too sterile. And by that, I don't mean like their cleanliness. I mean like their demeanor. Like they're too matter of fact. All right, let's get this done. Probably because their wife just left them with the kids, and now he's got a huge ass alimony payment, and he's getting sued for malpractice for 2 other cases pending. Insurance isn't going to cover one of them, so he's just in there like, and he's on 2 hours of sleep, 2 Red Bulls, ice macchiato, and a stool softener. So that's where he is. So when I come in and complain, my finger kind of hurts. He's probably like, rah, 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 rah. But I feel like the female is a little bit more empathetic, and take that in the spirit in which it's intended, and especially with a pediatrician, I feel like Mugsy's a lot more at ease with a female, even though we've only gone to female doctors, and that's the sample size we have. But today when she got her shots, 3 shots from the nurse, she did pretty well. She did not do well at her 2-month shots, where it was a scream fest, and then you couldn't touch her legs for probably 2 days, and we had to give her the little baby Tylenol. Daddy wanted to give her the baby Tylenol PM, except Mama was like, no. Even though do they make baby Tylenol PM? I feel like they kind of should. Yeah, and I don't know. I like the new doctor. She has 3 kids of her own, and she's very nice, very friendly, very, don't want to say matter-of-factly, because that's one of the things I don't generally like about male doctors, but she's very straight shooter, I guess, or to the point. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of fluff there. She does have a very personal manner, but she's not there, to coffee house, not there to like chat you up all day about, oh my God, does she have any friends yet, etc. Things like that. So that's what I like in our doctor so far. And when choosing the medical office, I mean, obviously you're going to go with what the insurance covers, but I feel like the cleanlier the waiting room and more up to date the magazines are, generally the worse the hospital is going to be. And I don't know why that is, but I feel like if the hospital has all these new fangled magazines and Hoda and Kathy Lee are on the brand new 50-inch television, then I don't know, I feel like it's a lot of fluff. And I understand that if it's a brand new building, you want all those nice new amenities in there. But, give me the slightly downtrodden. I'm not talking about like the completely ghetto, like free clinic stuff, but give me the slightly used, maybe built in the late 90s sort of medical buildings where it's going to be nitty and gritty and in and out, and it's set up where you don't want to be too comfortable at the doctor's office. Like, going to the doctor should be slightly uncomfortable because you want to get in and get out. Like, not as bad as a dentist, and I don't really know what point I'm trying to make here. That just might be the dad brain because I think I slept like 2 hours last night. So please bear with me. So my ideal doctor is going to be the female, 45, 3 kids, and not driving the Mercedes out in the parking lot, but driving the Toyota RAV4. Just the very down-to-earth, very relatable, not working out of the brand new, shiny building, but working out of like a mid-level building. Maybe it's a former Barnes & Noble, completely retrofitted, something like that, because we know that there's plenty of Barnes & Noble spaces available. And that's the lane I want to roll with. That's the system I want to go with, as well as with medical bills and kids and parents either have older kids or now adult kids. They know what I'm talking about, because you're going to be seeing this lady a lot, especially when the kid goes through their inevitable Evel Knievel phase, probably around 8 or 9 years old, for the broken arm, the partially torn MCL, if they're playing sports, the possible concussion if they're playing soccer. And yes, soccer is the most concussed sport in our country. Don't let all the ESPN outside the lines deifying football fool you. Because kids get hurt. They go to the doctor. They get sick. And this person is going to be a big part of your life and my wallet for a long, long time. So may as well get a good one, one that I like. And another thing about, I feel like I don't want to paint with broad strokes, but I'll just talk about my experience. I feel like the male doctor is more apt to upsell items or tests or various things that are going to cost you. It's kind of like when you're buying a car and they're trying to upsell you on the warranty or the extended warranty or the powertrain coverage, and if you don't do it, they're like, well, it's your funeral, buddy. You know how salesmen are like that. And I feel like male doctors, in my experience, are more apt to be like, well, would you like this test done? How about a blood sugar sampling? And it's something that all these numerous tests or add-ons or optional things where when you look at the bill later, it's going to be like, well, all right, so blood sugar test, even though I have no history of diabetes, nor do I have it in my family, and I have a pretty healthy lifestyle and diet, and he's pushing this on me. Maybe I should. Everyone's talking about diabetes nowadays, and maybe I should get it checked out. And then, of course, it's $320 for about a minute of work, and it's not picked up by insurance. So that's always a lot of fun, even though it's something that you could have easily passed on. But then if you pass on it, they're like, well, well, if you want to, just live dangerously and not know, if you're at risk for diabetes, it's you do you. It's your thing. And this sort of passive aggressive, trying to guilt you, trying to make you feel bad about it, even though doctors are just salesmen. I mean, they really are. I mean, I don't want to tangent off too much, but all the literature and all the media reports about how pharmaceutical companies are in with doctors, and they'll push certain types of medication on you when another might be just as good or better and cheaper, but the rep from Pfizer is in the doctor's pocket, and no, the other way around. The doctor is in the rep from Pfizer's pocket. There you go. And that's why I just never enjoyed going to the doctor as an adult. Now, when I was a kid, I had the best doctor ever. Dr. John Peterson, working out of Rushford, Minnesota, former Air Force colonel, I want to believe. He was a reservist colonel, something like that. And, he came to, Rushford, and he took care of me my entire life. And when you're coming from a small town of about 2,000 people, you don't get a pediatrician and a mediatrician and an adultatrician. I'm pretty sure those last two things aren't real, but you don't get specialized doctor. You get the town doctor, and you're going to like it. And I remember as a kid, getting the shots, right in the behind as opposed to the arm as an adult. I don't know why they do that. Because all right, so when Mugsy got her shots, they're all in the legs. They're not in the ass. Now, I feel like when she's older, like she could take her shots in the arm or in the leg. I mean, why? Was I molested? No, probably not. But, kids taking, shots in the ass, and then, you get the BandAid and you get the sucker and you go on with your day. And I remember when I was sick, you get the amoxicillin, you get the bubblegum flavored stuff, and you're like, oh man, I kind of want to get sick. I mean, as an adult, I would probably drink a little amoxicillin on the rocks. Just take the edge off a little bit. Yeah, baby. The bubblegum. Ooh, with a little bit of gin, with a little bit of Tanqueray 10, baby. Send it. But I love Dr. Pearson because he was the outlier. He stuck to the Hippocratic Oath to a T. He would tell you exactly what he thought, what his prognosis was. He wasn't going to sugarcoat anything, which is fine. And he wasn't going to try and upsell you on things. But the doctors I've been to for, physicals or checkups, it always seems like I'm on a used car lot when sitting in the doctor's office. And also, I'm not going to say the doctor's name or his, where he works. But the last one, my physical, I was like, the previous couple weeks, I would randomly, like it wouldn't be a pattern, but just randomly I would get a sharp pain in like the center of my chest, like not near the heart, but like under the sternum area. Like I would get a sharp pain right there for maybe about half a second, like every 12 days or something like that for, I don't know, a month or two. And that was the reason I went in as, part of the physical, and then also, hey, doc, I got this pain in my chest that's very sharp, very out of nowhere, and it just kind of comes and goes. And he's like, oh, okay. Never checked it, even though I brought it up thrice in the appointment. Yeah, no, he just read physical. He just read, hey, all right, so I can get this guy in and out in 15 minutes, and I can charge my rate and then go through insurance and I can get paid and on to the next one. But if I check out his chest pain, which maybe nothing, might be something, but it's probably nothing. That's an extra 10 minutes of my time. And that's something that I can't really upsell him unless, order a CAT scan or an MRI or it's something. No, God forbid I put the stethoscope on the chest again and, give my professional opinion about things, because even though he's brought up 3 times, now it doesn't appear like the chest pains are anything. I haven't had them for 9 months, something like that. But still, the fact that, if you're a subscriber of the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm, blah, 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 and you're supposed to be treating your patients, doesn't it make sense that you would take 10 minutes of your day when the patient complains about chest pains 3 times in a single sit down? But no, No, just tell me. Little nothing. Little, like, like I would be more at ease if he tried to sell me on some sort of battery of tests or blah 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 or medication, because then he's actually trying. He's actually just trying to sell something. That's just fine. But this guy just didn't give a shit. You know, he didn't care. Yeah. So anyways, I do not want a doctor like that for little Mugsy, and I think we got a good one. I really enjoyed her, and it's kind of funny. It's, you know, doing the background work, not background checks, but background work on the doctors, seeing like, medical degree from the U of M, not so bad. We'll take that. Whereas medical degree from Arizona State, you know, maybe she was hitting the clubs when she was supposed to be hitting the books. Who knows? Guys too. And Arizona State is not, it seems like a very fun place to go. Doesn't seem like it's the most conducive for learning. It feels like it's a year-long spring break. I don't know, but that's kind of fun too. And Mugsy is currently taking a nap right now. Looking at her, she is just chilling like a villain. And you know, thankfully, I didn't have to give her any baby Tylenol because I don't want to over-medicate. And see, that's the weird thing, because I'm a medicating fiend, not gonna lie. NyQuil is my homeboy, but I don't really want to introduce too much to the kid because I feel like it might become habit forming, and I don't know. Now, again, I've said before, I'm perfectly fine putting a little bit of Jim Beam on the gums when they're teething, even though the social media mafia will probably come after me for that. But yeah, who cares? Also, something that you should care about. Tell a friend about the show. Tell them about Dad Mode. Tell them about, hey, there's this guy who doesn't get a lot of sleep anymore and then just pontificates about random parenting things. Or just complains about his former doctors. Yeah, good times. Also, Amazon, dadmodepod.com, top left corner. Click through our link. It'll take you there, bookmark it, and every time you buy something, go through Amazon. See, the recent things that I bought on Amazon was a bocce ball set, and also a pegboard for the garage, for the workshop, hanging up all the tools. That's when you know that you are in the suburbs, baby. You got your own pegboard full of tools. Ain't no toolbox for this guy anymore. Awesome stuff. All right. Show's available on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod or me at Andy Carlson Show. The website is dadmodepod.com. But until next time, be a man, be a father, go dad mode. Brr, brr.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.